Thanks for staying with us. The story before us this morning is one that's deeply unsettling. The kind of news that makes you pause and ask how far humanity has truly fallen. It's often described as the unthinkable, yet this barbaric act happens right here amongst us. The Enugu State government has confirmed the arrest of one Uzioma Okonkwo, accused of defiling his two biological daughters, aged just 2 and 5. He was arrested on the night of Saturday, October 25th, 2025, after a concerned citizen raised the alarm. The confirmation came through a statement issued by the State Ministry of Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development on Sunday. According to the ministry, the suspect is now in police custody and will face prosecution once investigations are concluded. Their mother, we are told, is devastated and traumatized, struggling to come to terms with such betrayal so cruel from the very man who was meant to protect their children. This morning, we're asking some difficult questions. What drives a man to such unimaginable evil, to violate his own blood? Are there warning signs women should look out for? Signs that might hint at such twisted tendencies? And in a world where trust has become fragile, should a woman completely trust her husband alone with their daughters? Or would that be taking suspicion too far? What are your thoughts on this? You can join the conversation and call us on 02016 352013 or 0902416 3440 or tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourViewsTVC. This is what we call alo in our place. You know, abomination, taboo, unheard of. It's not done. You know, back in the day, we have things like this happen, and the next thing is they are taking people to the evil forest to just go and leave them there because that's a sacrilege. That's unheard of. Your own blood. There's something about your blood that will not even make any part of your body rise sexually. But for you to now begin to defile the children that you are supposed to protect, that's so unimaginable, please. What are your thoughts, ladies?
It's wrong. We shouldn't even imagine it,
Yeah.
but it's happening over and over again. It has happened several times. It has happened to many families. It has happened in the north, the south, the east, the west. It has happened in Africa. It has happened in other parts of the world.
Everywhere.
So it is wrong. But here's the thing: you asked a very crucial question. Is there anything that would give you an inclination about this? And my answer is indiscipline. If a man is not a disciplined person, if a man is not disciplined, if he does not have strong values, there is nothing he cannot do. He just hasn't had the opportunity. Given the opportunity, an indisciplined man with loose values or no values would do anything. There are strong things that we hold there. You know, where somebody says, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People that say it doesn't matter, if I do it, there's nothing you can do about it. People that don't have shame, that don't feel embarrassed by some things, there's nothing, it's just been given, they've not been given the room to express themselves. So when it comes to picking relationship and having commitments, I always say pick a man that is disciplined, pick a man that has values, pick a man that honors, pick a man that is ashamed, pick a man that will feel shame when something goes wrong. Because sometimes, you know, we don't do things because we do things, we don't do things because we're of what is right or wrong. We're scared of being caught and the consequences of being caught. That's many people, that's it.
That's why many people don't
it's the
do
consequence
things.
of being caught, the shame that will come with it. But if you marry a shameless person, male or female, you are going to live a life of regrets. So for me, this person has married an indisciplined man and a shameless man. As good as the men that rape house girls. Is in the same WhatsApp group. That man that is raping a house girl, raping the niece that is staying in their house, is the same man that when he doesn't have anybody that he can sleep with, would pick on his daughter. Because he's indisciplined and is shameless.
You know, this is such a breach of trust. Because you see, when babies hear the voice of their parents or their mother, their fathers, as in that's who they cling to, that's who they want to hug, that's who they want to hold, you know. And then these kids are 3, 5, like you find out that your home is supposed to be your safe space. Then just imagine that being taken away from you. It does something to, it just does something to a human, a person. It's I don't know, I just don't want to imagine it. It's so sad. And what really hurts me the most, as in it's the family members that cover it up. Yes, because you know that thing they will say, when a mad person goes on the main road and pulls their clothes, it's not the mad person that has shame. It's the family, right? And then in these situations, most times the family members are in a dilemma on how to react. Should I report this, or our family name, or this, that? Like I said, you should know that the more that you're holding on to it, it's not about shame, it's not about stigma, it's about the children, the well-being and mental state of children. And you should know that it's not even a crime against your family, it's a crime against the state. It's a criminal matter. You understand? And that kind of person has a mental issue. That person must be brought to book. Definitely. Because how do you want to live with that kind of person? Because this, and I like the fact that the Senate, that they are deliberating the bill for child abuse, and it shows the seriousness of this matter. And then just imagine a parent, because it brings me back down to when I moved back to Nigeria years back to, in Port Harcourt. So I'd gone to my tailor's place, and then when I got there, she was attending to one lady that was carrying a baby, a newborn baby, and I think a 3-year-old child, and she was crying profusely. So I just waited for them to finish what they were doing, and then the woman got into a taxi and left. So the tailor kept saying, God forbid, hey, God forbid. I said, what's the problem? What happened? She now said that the woman's husband was defiling that 3-year-old child. You know, I went from zero to 1 million. Like I said, I was even mad at her for not getting me involved as I was still sitting down there.
While the lady was
there. That the woman was now going to the police, that she woman got to a taxi to go to the police station. I was like, that thing has not left me. Because like, I was just wondering, like, how the woman was like, because she was torn apart. Like, what do I do? Where do I start from? Where do I go? It's such a breach of
how do I open
those
my
kind
mouth?
of men should be punished. They should be castrated. It is painful.
Nima.
Okay, so sexual violence, and particularly those that are gender-based, female-based violence, are not just destructive of the victim. When you bring it to incest, it's a psychological problem, a social one, one that ruins families.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the torture. When you were taking it, you were saying the mother is also going through therapy now. Imagine finding yourself, because there's nothing that prepares you. If a narcissist pretends to be a perfect, God-fearing man, you might enter his home and find out this is what you're
marry your enemy
upon yourself. And so how do you manage when it starts to be your kids? So a lot of times that's stress. That's why we said, award the woman who speaks up of the abuse of a girl, house girl, talk less of the one that is the child, and the scars outlives them. You cannot, there's no psychosocial support that completely eradicates or wipes out that particular incident. But we're not out of laws. Our laws, we've been dealing with this from time. When you called it alu, I was saying in my mind that is agua. It's abomination.
It's always been with us.
But it became abomination because some people tried. They dared to do it. In the southwestern states, you hear more when it happens within family. They say it's for the wealth. And our movies, sadly, we're also showing it. They will tell a man for you to make money, you have to sleep with your mother, sleep with your daughter in our movies, without consequences. So we have our criminal code already, defining what carnal knowledge is. But when we couldn't cover various forms of abuses, our lawmakers went to work and created the Violence Against Persons Act. That expands the definition to even touching, to even any kind of other knowledge we know carnal. The one that, all that forms to expand it, and I believe that is a very perfect definition of it. The Nigerian NAPTIP is the body empowered by that law to enforce any sort of that abuse. The problem has always been within family cover-up. This shame, it cannot touch us. Because if you say the shame cannot touch us, can you wipe out the trauma of the victim and other victims, like the mother, for instance, who's watching and mentally, because I don't think the person can be, go feel well though.
No, it's not same. No.
Because in our relation,
he has a depraved mind already.
For somebody to defile a young, not a young child,
a young child first,
a toddler, 1 and 2, I bet you they're like 2 and 3.
3 and 5.
3 and 5.
That's
3 and 5. So
that's the problem.
That's totally
now your own blood.
There's nothing about the body of that child that should arouse you
at all.
If you're normal.
You cannot be normal. So I don't know how the mother is going to cope with it, but I think that this has continued to grow in each society because of cover-up. This particular case in question, thank God that somebody made an attempt. I saw the video online when they were hitting on the door. This person wants to hide. Chest it with your full chest. That it should be that the thing where they entice you. That then we agree society-wise that you have a mental problem. We will now take care of you society as a government, because now state against you. We know how to deal with you. We criminalize what you have done. The consequence of it will include rehabilitating you so that next time you see baby, you will see baby. You will not see adult.
You will not go see baby now.
No. Next time when you see Pikin, now Pikin you go see. Are they supposed
to rehabilitate?
No, what I
rehabilitation
they need to castrate people like this.
Okay.
The laws need to be stringent.
The consequence
everything
must be such that if you see the picture of a baby,
you will know it's a baby.
Now baby you go to see. Because you have to be something is wrong with you for you to see baby. I don't see a baby. I don't see a baby.
Something else.
You know, some other sexual orientation that we hear of these days. That were before time. There was a reason why society shamed it.
So let's talk about vigilance and reporting such issues. We've had the way our society is skewed in such a way that sometimes many women prioritize marriage over every other thing, right? So I've seen cases of the husband is abusing the child, and because the woman wants to maintain the marriage, she's aiding to cover it up. And even there was one case that was really very close to home. The child even grew up and was accusing them publicly, but the mother was still denying and covering up. So that's on one hand. Secondly, the people who are around, how do we report such things when we notice them? I like the fact that Tope has highlighted, the psychology, the character flaws you will notice that will tell you likely this person can do anything to avoid such a person when you're getting into a relationship and all of that. But those that are already doing it and you, maybe it's in your space, it's in your environment, how do we report the issue instead of covering it? And how do we as a society not stigmatize the victims?
Oh no, this idea of it is not my business is a problem. Many people notice abusers around them and chase the person away from them without reporting them. Many abusers, adults don't become abusers as adults. They've been abusing when they were younger. They've been abusing where they were before. And we have enough data to show that many abusers are serial abusers, which means if they were caught and reported early, the later victims would have been saved. So when we say report, it's not because we want you to hurt the family or shame the person. It's because we want to prevent other people from being victims of this person's bad behavior. So calling out is extremely important. I also, like I said, when somebody is raping in secondary school, someone is already touching and abusing people as a young person. The likelihood of it continuing as an adult would be there. So signs to look out for are those kind of things. Somebody that will just see someone and you are grabbing somebody's body and you don't say anything wrong in it. I felt that a man that honors his parents and respects his parents to be a man that will care for his family and care for his wife. And that is a fact. So anyone that is abusing,
that's what we see.
That is already slapping somebody's bum. You can see that he's slapping somebody's bum. You now say you want to marry that kind of person.
Nima, we'll take a shot, but when we come back,
already red flag.
We continue the conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're still talking about the children who were defiled by their fathers, and we have looked at societal values. We're talking about the stigma. We're also talking about reporting and vigilance on the part of onlookers and people around. Yes.
So Tope was talking about the kind of person that you will end up with that is likely to do it. But I wanted that to expand to families. So you see somebody you want to marry and in his family they're so secretive. There's a daddy's room somewhere, daddy's chair somewhere, all those kind of limits, boundaries that they have normalized. If something were to happen in their presence now, you see the mother say to the children, go inside, cover the door. Don't let our neighbor hear it. You know that kind of, if you find yourself in such a place, you know that if something were to happen to even you, regardless of the children you born, they won't want it to go out. They used to do in-house settling in communities in Africa those days. And people would think it was a cover-up. It wasn't. If a person was found in an incest situation those days, then they escort her. He no go return. The child does not have to witness it. Na lion shopper. You know those kind of examples. They cover it in such a way. They also cover that shame. So they remove that stigma. They cover the victim.
Remove the person.
Is the victim?
The perpetrator
is
and
the
the
victim's
stigma.
shame they were covering, not the perpetrator. So
Yes.
there was always consequence for perpetrator. But when human rights came with all the civil laws and criminal laws, they started to do a fair hearing judgment, because women were also found to falsely accuse men who abuse them in other forms of such a thing that will bring such grievous consequences. So to balance it,
Say it again.
Yes.
Women, some women,
Yes,
some women
that have been abused by their husbands
in other ways.
in other ways, or even physically or sexually, decide to want to deal with the man and come to
Accuse
media or come to the village or come outside and accuse him of sleeping with his children.
Children.
But that's
And
where
we've
he
seen
gets
a
his,
press conference where some children did this.
Yes.
The children did this
yes.
so that
So
they
father
can
went
go
to jail.
and
Yes.
their
Their
mother.
Yes, we've seen
So
that.
Yes.
So those were the things that limited how it was practiced, but there was no traditional way of covering up. Such a thing that is called agua. They will escort you to the Igbo
just
forest
means-
that person will return.
Yes.
But we have to create safe places of reporting.
Yeah.
Safe channels of reporting, and I want to blame NAPTIP on this because I worked with them for the 16 days gender-based violence awareness. The numbers we know, even me, I can't remember off memory. They're not flagged everywhere in public places.
Yes, they should be everywhere.
The numbers should be flagged everywhere, along with this our Nigerian new song that is really we are hearing. People should have a number they can dial,
Easily.
because sometimes you are in a place where you cannot shout. You are the neighbor, you are hearing that the mother have gone to work, but the child has been crying for hours. You should be able to call a number, because if you knock the door, they will call you busybody. But if you have a hotline that is toll free, you can dial. And NAPTIP has more than one. On that show then I was hosting it, I was reading it out every week. More than one hotline for that purpose. But even if I don't go and carry that paper that I
You
used
will
to
not
use,
remember.
I cannot know it, because
So it has to be
the
in our
numbers have
faces.
to be, yes, it should be in our faces, because this is
easy
yes.
to.
it should be easy to remember.
Yeah.
Also, there should be training of the security agents.
Yes.
Remember, we had
To
partnered
handle.
with DSVA under TT,
Yes, I remember.
where they were training police officers to treat the gender-based violence, especially particularly the one of sexual nature, in a particular way where there's no
different.
victim
Yes.
blaming.
Yes.
From
when
your
there's-
questioning.
questioning, yes.
What you wear.
What did you wear?
Your mommy send you.
5 years,
When
what
your
did I
mommy
wear?
send you, they call you. Is it not? Is your name?
Yeah.
The victim begins to shame.
Yes.
When they called you, why did you look back? Those kind of they were training officers to respond pro-victim methods to respond to such a report.
Yeah.
Because not be say people know the report, but the discouragement
Yes.
to report is
It's
that
a
you
lot.
know you will spend an entire day repeating the trauma.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
While
Not
you're
considerate.
yes, or a mother, they're spending the entire time repeating the trauma, because where were you? How did it happen?
This one will
Up
come
and down.
and ask. Another officer will come and
So,
ask.
Places like Warif and
Yes.
Mirabel created a way that mothers will not have to talk too much when the victim is available. They will immediately take samples and confirm that this crime has happened, and reduce the interrogation of mothers as opposed to how police does it. So we always advise when this topic comes up. But Warif and NAPTIP, what's it called? What did I call the other one now? Mirabel. They're Lagos-based hospitals. How many other states have other such
many,
foundation that we should be
I agree
talking
with
about?
you. Let's
know,
take
so
this
that-
call. Chris has called in from Owerri. Chris, good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning. Morning to all the ladies out there. Good morning. First time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, so in respect to the topic at hand, correct, I want to say that proper home training is actually underrated in this country.
Proper
Home training plays a lot of role in everything we do in life. An action that has taken place from childhood to adulthood, and it has already turned to an addiction. So, and you find out that we only look at it from the surface when it happens. We are not looking at it from how long has this thing been in existence, how long has it been into this person. So someone at this level who can go as much as defiling a little girl of 2 and 5. Number one, something is actually wrong.
Yes.
Aside the fact that we'll trace it to maybe this person is going through some mental disease. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. So, and another angle I want us to look at this thing, and like a different perspective too, is sometimes this is the area where I would like our mothers and the ladies to look into. Sometimes these things they talk about feminism and all that. Most ladies want to like, okay, I'm the boss, I want to be on my own and all that. I want to be on my own, and they leave their marriage. Children who are not raised by both parents, statistics have shown that they are liable to indulge in things like this. So the father has a role to play in anything, the mother has a role to play. So, and this is why when things like this happen, you find some people want to cover it up. They want to cover it up so that people will not say this is what happened, the family and all that. Then a lot of things will start coming up. So the summary of this whole thing is that home training is highly underrated in this part of the world. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So you can see that most child abuse cases always happens within the home. If it's not nephew, it is caregiver, it is house domestic staff that is living with you. It's always where the people have access to the kids, and where there's trust, a breach of trust. Because you find out that a child that is 3 years or 5 years old, you know how kids are. If they don't know you, then they don't want to be comfortable with you, or they don't. If you're calling a small child, even a baby self, you want to carry a baby and the baby doesn't recognize you or know you, they pull away. So you find out that that kind of abuse, child abuse, always happens within. Yes, based on trust. But then I want to talk about victim blaming and victim shaming. And in this instance that we're talking about now, the victim is the children and even the mother. It's not just one-sided. You know, because it's so funny how society now starts saying, where was the mother? Why did the mother not notice that this thing was going on?
Yeah, that one happened.
Even the woman herself will also start blaming herself. Like, I said, how can this thing
the
be
woman
going
already
on?
is blaming herself.
You know, that kind of thing. And because I have a problem with people that sit down to start blaming, to start victim blaming and victim shaming.
That you should have known.
Yes,
you have observed.
You yourself, you have a big problem. Because don't just think that it's one-sided. Well, everybody has a role, a responsibility, and should take accountability for their thoughts and how their mind works. Because this is how society is shaped, and this is how we can. Well, that something has happened, an ordeal has happened, but then how do we move past it? Right? It's not putting blame on anybody. Because let me tell you something: there are men that come across, or women that come across as amazing churchgoers. They bring down the Holy Ghost fire. But that the things that they do, it will scare you.
It's unfortunate that we have to, end this conversation. But it's very important that we know that these things are happening, and we all need to open our eyes and hold each other accountable. We have touched on many parts of it, identifying people who would likely do this. We've touched on the fact that we need to stop victim shaming, victim blaming, the stigma surrounding the victim. The perpetrator is the one who should have all the shame. And I like the fact that we have a bill that's, present in the House. That's, in fact, there's a particular one I just received, and I said operatives of the Lagos State Police Command have apprehended a 39-year-old man identified as Best Oji for allegedly defiling his 2 daughters in Surulere. There's also another one, which is a father, Michake Ogba, who was sentenced to triple life imprisonment for defiling and raping his 3 daughters of age 10, 20, and 24 years. This happened in 2022.
I'm
so
happy
it's not
that this
today.
one highlighted
Yes,
the consequence
for
so
the
that
perpetrators.
can know.
So please, when we see
There's
issues
also,
like this, we need to speak up. We need to find help. And like you rightly called out the agency that's supposed to give us the information or the numbers to call, so that we have the numbers on our head. You have your number for emergency. You have your number for this. These are some sort of emergency. God help us.
Amen.
Thank you so much, ladies. That's all we can take on this topic. Oh, we have a call before we go, and then we'll wrap up the topic. We have Chris, Mr. Cole from Iba. Good morning, Mr. Cole. Are you there? Oh, we lost Mr. Cole. But that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we'll move on to yet another topic. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.